and getting out to those middle grounds, going and get some grouper and some great fishing. 722 Pruitt Drive, Madeira Beach. Also 6012 Russell Street in South Tampa. $1 million listing. This is a Mediterranean palace right in South Tampa, 1 block from Bayshore. Over $1 million asking price, but a great opportunity to own real estate right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Now you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
All right, we're going to go to the phone lines now. We got Doug Levi, the insurance quarterback, calling into the program. Hey, Doug.
Brandon, always good to be here. Hope you guys are doing great, and we're enjoying this beautiful weather here in Tampa Bay and trying to get our clients and team ready for the end of the year.
Absolutely. So some people were talking a little bit, out in the community, just listening to, hey, it seems like in Florida it's been a slower hurricane season, knock on wood, all that stuff, and of course not to curse ourselves, but when you look at it, we're in the end of October, the temperature is starting to subside, you got the humidity, disappearing in certain days, but what's the facts out there? Because, when you think about Hurricane Ida, that was a big storm.
It was a huge storm, and I know we were talking before the show and with some of the guys as well. Article from CNBC just recently showing that projected costs from Hurricane Ida could top $95 billion, which is just staggering, and it's definitely going to place it within the top 10 storms of all times. Going up there with Hurricane Andrew and Superstorm Sandy and Hurricane Katrina, and we didn't see that impact here in Florida, thank God, but it hit the southeast pretty hard. You're looking at Louisiana, Mississippi, even parts of Texas. And then it really went strong up into the northeast, right? We've talked in the past where we saw pictures of the New York subway experiencing flooding and parts of New Jersey having cars underwater. So that economic impact is still going to be felt for a long time. The takeaway for our listeners is this. Insurance rates are on the rise. People, I'm sure, already feel they pay a lot in insurance as it is. I know I do. I know my rates are. I pay the same rates everyone else does. And now's a great time to do a protection review. So we offer a $17 Amazon gift card just for the opportunity to review your home, your auto, it could be your business insurance, your life insurance, your health insurance, really anything you want, but really with a strong eye and focus on your home, flood, and auto. We'd love to do a review with you. You can visit us at tampabayinsurance.com. Always tell clients, worst thing you can do is make a new friend and save some money. We'd really encourage our listeners on that because we're seeing tremendous rate increases, Brandon.
Yeah, the rate increases, and it's partly due to the mismanagement of the economy, and of course, a lot of it goes back to supply chain issues with COVID-19, but also the shipping disaster that's happening. Can you imagine having to pay the cost of a hurricane 5 years ago versus right now, and the cost of almost everything's gone up.
No doubt. Well put. And I think this is another good takeaway for our listeners out here is with the supply chain, you hear that all the time. I joke, here's something funny, Brandon. Right now, you can blame everything on supply chain and COVID. I feel like no matter what it is, it's supply chain and COVID. And there's some truth to that, but could be anything, if the Rays lost, it's supply chain and COVID. So
that was a bad call.
That was a bad call. Yeah, there you go. So here's the takeaway, right? It's more expensive to rebuild your home today, right now, than it was 6 months ago, certainly a year ago, because building costs are up, construction costs are up, supplies are up, and we're seeing that rapidly. So another takeaway is you say, hey, I'm paying a great rate on my insurance, Doug. I'm good. I would encourage you really need to look at how much coverage you have on your home, and you're likely underinsured. That's the reality right now. If you haven't looked at it in a while, you're very likely underinsured as it stands right now today because of the escalating price increases we've seen in the construction market.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is, if you don't have uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage in your vehicles, you're setting yourself up for a big headache when it comes to an accident.
That's a big one, too. The statistics are 30% of the drivers in the state of Florida have no insurance at all, none, or have the very bare minimum, which is just personal injury protection and property damage, which includes no liability. And so, to your point, Brandon, if you get hit or have an accident with one of those drivers and they're at fault, you're hurt, you're injured. We've had some of our great personal injury folks on in the past. They're champions of uninsured motorists because it's really the only way you can protect yourself and your family from drivers like that if you get hurt. So that's definitely a wise coverage as well. We do that and recommend that routinely, and certainly review what you've currently got on your auto and make sure your assets are properly protected.
Yeah, it's a great thing to do. If you just joined the show, by the way, we're talking with Doug LEVI here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He's representing Strategic Insurance. He's the owner of Strategic Insurance, and he's got a great team over there. He can help you with any type of insurance: property casualty, auto, disability, life, all types of insurance. And Doug, when it comes to these insurances, a lot of times people just roll them over. Every year, it's like, okay, let's just roll it over. What's the easiest, fastest thing to do? That could be a mistake, because there could be savings out there if they do a review, if they simply do a review, and I believe you offer an incentive as well.
100%. Yeah, we just mentioned a minute ago, we offer a $17 Amazon gift card just for the opportunity to do that review. We call it a protection review, and then we basically do a fact finder with you and kind of go through your home and your scenario, your auto, etc. And then we shop over 25 markets to make sure you're getting the best coverage and the best rates. And a lot of times we see people aren't. They may be overpaying just because their carrier had a large rate increase. They may not know about a discount that they're eligible for that they weren't taking advantage of with their prior insurance company. Oftentimes we'll recommend a client take a higher deductible. Let's say you go from a $1,000 deductible on your home insurance to a $2,500 deductible. It may save you $400 to $600 each year. So there's lots of little levers that we can look at to make sure that people are properly protected, but with a budget they can afford.
Yeah, it's so important to do that review, making sure that you're maximizing your daily input, especially now with the cost of almost everything going up: fuel costs, groceries, services, cost of goods and services. You see it across the board. Doug LEVI, I want to play a clip right here from the Daily Wire, Morning Wire. Just a quick clip about this shortage shipping disaster that by now probably most of us have heard of.
So, courtesy of all of this policy, we have inflation, right? And it's here already and rising every single day. Supply chain issues that we're seeing now just exacerbate the issue. As that video showed, we've got traffic jams essentially at major ports here in the United States. Same thing's happening in China. Things are so bad that Coca-Cola and Walmart now are leasing their own container ships, right? These supply chain issues, we haven't, as consumers, even felt that inflation yet.
Yeah, so that's the big question, is how much of it have we not felt yet, right? Because there's always a delay when it comes to these macroeconomic type issues, especially when there's geopolitical forces involved. So when you have these container ships not being able to be unloaded, you got California not allowing vehicles that are a certain age or older to be transporting the big rigs, the 18-wheelers. Big issues here, and then of course the policy as well affecting workers, people getting paid to stay at home. So the labor forces are involved. It seems like there's a problem in almost every sector, Doug.
Well, I think a show like this is so important too, because to be that advocate for the consumer, right? As the consumer quarterback, Brandon, and I know each of us brings our own perspective as your show partners, but there's no doubt we're in some challenging times, and I think this administration has not handled things in a proactive, positive way at all, and people are seeing it each day. I mean, we see it firsthand. I'm doing some remodeling at a commercial building for my agency that we're going to be moving into coming up, and the flooring prices and the lumber costs and all that we're doing. I mean, it's skyrocketing. Yeah. And again, you hear this supply chain issue and sort of the mismanagement of our ports and various causes, and it's a shame because it's the local insurance agency owner like myself, or the local person who's just trying to buy groceries or trying to make it through the week or going to get a tank of gas, seen it firsthand. So hopefully our government can get things under control and help the consumer out.
Yeah, and here's an idea: side hustling, insurance side hustling. By the way, reach out if anything you heard on the show today you have interest in. Reach out to the hotline. You can call or text. It's an off-air number, 813-750-0550. Call or text the hotline, 813-750-0550. Call or text the hotline. And real quick, Doug, tell us a little bit about your insurance side hustling program.
So, great way to put some extra money in your pocket. So we have a program. You can go to insurancesideHustling.com and see all the info. And basically what we do, Brandon, is we teach people and help them get into the insurance business doing home and auto insurance, part-time, remote. You can do it anywhere in the country on your schedule. You get to help people with a real need, just what we're talking about right now.
Beautiful.
Helping them with their homeowner's insurance, helping them with their auto insurance. People can get licensed through the state in as little as 2 weeks. Our agency's here to provide all the training, the support, the carrier access. We help you with servicing. We teach you how to network and prospect and how to help your friends and family. And it's a great model. It's a great opportunity for people, like I said, to put some real money in their pocket and help people with a real tangible need, because we know people are always going to need insurance.
That's right. TampaBayInsurance.com. Doug Levi, Strategic Insurance. Doug, thanks a lot. Appreciate you.
Brandon, always good talking to you guys. Have a great
Likewise.
day, Tampa Bay.
Take care, man.
Bye-bye.
All right, coming up, we've got Captain Will Smith in studio, as well as Bo Blowen from the Veteran Alliance of Clearwater here in Tampa Bay. And we have our feel-good story of the day as well. Pinellas table tennis player takes medal in Tokyo Paralympics. Pretty cool story right out of Bel Air, Florida, right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We'll be right back after this short break. We'll see you.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, or investing. We'd like to feature our listings live on air to help our sellers profit more and sell faster. We got a beautiful commercial listing right here in Tampa Bay, 4302 North Nebraska Avenue. You got your own private billboard on this property as well. 40 to 50,000 vehicles a day passing by on the very busy Nebraska Avenue property. Seminole Heights. It's a wide open spaces, beautiful property, wood flooring, got a kitchen in there as well. 4302 North Nebraska Avenue, corner lot, private billboard at this beautiful property listing of ours here in Tampa Bay. 1748 Colmar is another one of our residential listings in Holiday, Florida. Now, 1748 Colmar is a beautiful property. You got solar on the roof, well kept, greatly maintained property here. Just over 1,000 square feet. Got an above ground pool, 4 sheds, newer appliances, AC, and roof. 1748 Colmar Drive. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com. And this segment is brought to you by Veteran Gutters. Brandon Porter and his team, another one of our veterans associated with the program. Brandon Porter, Veteran Gutters, American-made product. He defended our country. Work with him on your gutter systems on your home or business. Veteran Gutters, Brandon Porter. Reach out. Let him know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take him up on those special offers. All right, we got Captain Will Smith in studio. I want to start with Will first. Will Smith Aviation. Give us an update on the movie and the book. I know a lot of our listeners, whenever I'm out in the community, they say, hey, what's going on with that movie, man? It sounds pretty cool. What's the update there?
Well, I had a talk with our good friend David Yates, and we're finishing up on the final treatment to pitch. So we're going to take that and pitch it to Lionsgate, Netflix, some of those guys out there that need something different, and bring an awareness to the corrupt judicial system. It's just not in one state, but it's in all the states. Wow. So I think it's the perfect timing and perfect setting to allow this to, open up and help people understand how corrupt some of our courtrooms can be.
Yeah.
So the books are going great. I finally got the final draft and copy of the workbook, Ditches to Riches. So I'll be at Zephyr Hills Prison talking to the inmates that are being released within the next 30 to 60 days. So we're going to put them on track with Cons Helping Cons with Thomas Young and get them jobs, place to live, and help them get their life back and get another second chance with it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, so the book Falling from the Sky, the movie Falling from the Sky, same name, kind of working title. Really, really interesting to see how it's progressed over the last 6-8 months, a year, roughly. But yeah, very interesting stuff there. Will Smith Aviation, tell us a little bit about Will Smith Aviation.
Well, Will Smith Aviation is kind of a landing platform for people that want to get into private air charter or just own their own private aircraft. I will tell you, we talk about inflation in the markets. Well, the aircraft now that we bought a year ago, one of the jets I'm flying now appreciated $1 million from what the owner paid last year.
Holy cow.
And the reason is the supply and demand. More and more people are moving into the private industry. So, it's kind of hard to trust the commercial industry right now. I mean, we saw what happened with Southwest. They had 2,000 flight cancellations. Well, you can only do that so many weekends where your company is in the red.
Yeah.
So more and more people are just they're more comfortable doing private flights or travel. So if anybody has a need and wants to purchase an aircraft, I suggest do it now because it's slim pickings. And if they just want to do a charter, we can do that as well and help them out, point them in the right direction. I work with several different charter companies here in the Tampa Bay area, and they can be assured that every single one of their trips will be nonstop. So you're not commuting through the heavy traffic hit areas like Atlanta, Charlotte. And the people that don't want to be because of COVID won't be around. They won't be exposed. So it's just them and their group flying from point A to point B with no hassle, no TSA. They don't have to deal with any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. By the way, for the movie, we're looking for investors still. There's some investor packages available for the movie. If you just joined us, we're talking with Captain Will Smith here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. And also, one of the airlines, I believe it was United, I'm 90% accurate on that, is United says they come out and say, it's not about the character of your the character of your person. It's not about the competency of your flight skills. We're going to hire more based on the color of your skin, meaning the melanin content in your skin, whether you're black or whatever dark content. I guess they want to go darker, What's your thoughts about that?
I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, Brandon, because this is what it's about. It's a skill set.
Yeah.
All right. Only 1% of the airline pilots and professions occupy our entire professions around the world. 1%. Mm-hmm. You have to have a special skill set. Not everybody can do what pilots do.
Right.
So for them to make a comment like that, they're not uniting anybody. It's kind of an oxymoron. They need to change the name of their airline to divide it. Yeah. Because that's exactly what they're doing. Each person that goes through the training, if you fail out the training, you fail. But if they're saying, no, it's okay that you fail, we'll still put you in the aircraft, now you're jeopardizing people's lives.
Yeah.
There's a reason there's a bulletproof door between the cockpit and the rest of the peanut gallery in the back.
Yeah.
You don't want people that are just, hey, I got this job because of the color of my skin. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's to me, it's just they're making a disaster. And if we don't stop with this BS and this wokeness and all this crap, and start hiring people on a skill set, not based on the color of their skin, there's going to be some issues.
And it's even in the military now. You see it too with China just launching their what was it called, a hypersonic
missiles.
It circled the globe in the atmosphere, kind of like Bezos did with his little thing, and they just went into space for a few minutes, and then they came right back down. But now, so the wokeness, could it be costing us on a political level? I want to bring in our former Marine, I believe, right, a veteran, Bo Blonin as well, Bluin, Veteran Alliance of Clearwater.
Yeah.
Just I feel like we're at a significant disadvantage now with all this wokeness, leftist stuff going on at the highest ranks of the military.
Yeah, and the military is one of those things too where, especially in combat units, when you're relying on each other, you need to have a certain standard that you have to be held up to, right? Physically and mentally, and able to go out and perform. And we've seen some of them change over the years, but I think overall, on the ground level, they're still doing a fairly decent job of keeping some of the most physically fit, mentally competent, and high skill sets and positions that we need.
Yeah, yeah, and it was interesting to see too with the gentleman that spoke out. The last name started with an S. I forget exactly how to pronounce it, but he spoke out. He was court-martialed over it. He didn't go through the right ranks, but he said, "Hey, where's our accountability for what happened in Afghanistan?" Those types of things. So it's pretty crazy there as well.
And that's a big one now with a lot of. See, I grew up I came in the Marine Corps in 2007 and went all the way to 2016. I did 9 years, and so I came on the tail end of Iraq. Yeah. Got out of Iraq and then went straight to Afghanistan. I spent over 4 years of my life in Afghanistan.
Wow.
And so I have so many veteran brothers and sisters that are just in anguish, like, look what happened.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about people that have been seeing their friends killed and participating in it like I did myself, and seeing wounded veterans going through that, reliving that trauma of like, what did I do over there? And how could this possibly happen?
Yeah, what was the purpose? Why did we leave $85 billion worth behind? I mean, it's just unbelievable. There, and I saw an email come out from Salem, from Town Hall. There is going to be the oversight committee, though, looking into that. So that was good news. I saw actually this morning on the daily email that comes out from Salem Media's Town Hall. I forgot the person that's looking into it, but it was great to see that. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. More with Captain Will Smith, and we have our veteran friend Bo Bluen, Veteran Alliance of Clearwater, 17th annual event coming up in Clearwater. We're going to talk to you about that, plus our feel-good story of the day right on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
This is Chris Voss, former FBI lead hostage negotiator and owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Five, four, three, two, one.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us here. Brandon Rhymes, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. Quick shout out to Discovery Golf Cars right here in Tampa Bay, formerly known as Golf Cart Depot. Our friends over at Discovery Golf Cars, whether recreation or business use, seems like everybody's getting a golf car these days. Lots of makes and models. They're so much fun to drive. Easy Go. They've got the Star EV, Cushman. They've got new and pre-owned. You can rent or buy, and they also offer financing and mobile repair. Check them out online, discoverygolfcars.com. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on those special offers and incentives. All right, we got a hot property listing here. Commercial property this time, 5602 Land O'Lakes Boulevard up in Land O'Lakes, just off of Highway 41 up in Land O'Lakes. Beautiful property. This is a $1.8 million listing. Great opportunity for builders, developers, entrepreneurs, investors. Check out this property. It's almost 7 acres, 2 parcels of land on Lake Helen. So it's currently zoned C2, general commercial, water and sewer available. Great expansion along US Highway 41. 5602 Land O'Lakes Boulevard in Land O'Lakes. Great buying opportunity from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. Okay, I want to go back to Bo. So, Bo, tell us a little bit about this event coming up, and you're a brand ambassador. That's really cool for the Veteran Alliance of Clearwater.
Absolutely, yeah, and thank you again for letting me on the show. And Kat, thank you for sharing all the stuff that you're doing. I've seen what he does to help people and reform their lives of coming out of prison. So thank you for doing that. And honestly, that's kind of what Veteran Alliance out of Clearwater does for veterans. They provide emotional, financial, and regulatory support for veterans in need. And they have a wonderful event on November 11th. From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's their 17th annual event at Crest Lake Park, where it's for veterans. It's for veterans and their families. It's for the entire community to come. We're going to have a band. We're going to have some good food. We're going to have a lot of really cool games and stuff that you can do to help us raise money, like a pull-up competition, a bunch of different stuff that are really themed towards veterans to kind of get that community back. Over the last year, you touched on it, everything that's going on in Afghanistan, all the changes inside of the military right now, and the shift in policy, and now what this new generation has to come up against. We're still here for the post 9/11 veterans, the combat veterans that are out there that need our support.
Yeah.
And we saw the statistics of the isolation that occurred with veterans, and what happens with that, with PTSD, is that just brings all of that to the surface.
Yeah.
And we're here to help with that on multiple levels at Veterans Alliance, and it's an honor to be a part of it, because at one point in time coming out of the Marine Corps, I was one of those guys like, hey, what am I going to do?
Right.
You know, what is my mission going to be now? And one thing I want to let the Tampa Bay listeners know, and for veterans, is, you know, tap into your heart and open your heart, and that'll guide you to where you need to go to help to see how you can serve again. So we're seeing a lot of veterans that are like, hey, we don't know what to do. And at Veterans Alliance, we're here to help them with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. So do you help with job placement, those types of opportunities as well?
They do. They help with job placement. We have community partners on our website that we work with, and we're going to be updating as well, that has a host of services. So when a veteran comes to us, we can help them.
Yeah.
We also help the veteran, business-minded veteran, the entrepreneur, kind of like myself, that is doing a couple of different things. We help them, connect them with the right people to help their businesses grow as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's good service, man. That's great. Veterans come out. A lot of them aren't aware of their VA certificate, where they could buy a home with zero money down, ziro out of pocket. Were you?
I was one of them. Yeah. And we're looking now. So I was definitely one of them. So it's a new process for me as well. So
right, yeah, getting because you guys are warriors. You're out there defending our country, stepping up, putting your lives on the line, doing all these things, worried about more life and death situations. Then you come home and it's like, okay, now let me kind of reacclimate. A lot like Will talks about when he's coming out of prison. When people are coming out of prison, they're trying to go back into, and that's one of the goals of helping cons, and what Will's working with Thomas Young on is reducing the recidivism rate. That means like going back into prison. So I can just only imagine, and then of course add all the challenges now that with COVID and all these extra stresses that our federal government's putting on us. He's talking about being divisive. It's almost everything they've done is divisive. From a federal level. But what are some other tips? Maybe some things that you could say to help veterans that are maybe listening right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. When we're talking about, from Veteran Alliance on the emotional support side, we always focus on, when you look at the timeline of your service for every veteran, no matter what you do, you serve no matter what. I want everybody to know it didn't matter what you did. You served your country 4, 5, 9 years. We respect every different type of service that you do. But look at the timeline of service and figure out, what you were really connected to while you were there, and what skill sets aligned with that connectivity.
Right.
And then go out and volunteer and start trying that out in the market and see what you can do. So if you're in a position like, what do I do? Go look where your heart's at. Open up your heart. That's the biggest institution that we teach, is like, open that up, reach out to the veterans, and that's very helpful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Try to reduce, the suicide rate. Let's reduce the homelessness. Let's reduce all those rates. And I know our listenership really would love to get involved. What's the best place for people to find you? Do you have a website, or maybe how do they follow you online?
We do, yep. So it's TampaBayVeteranAlliance.org. You can go there. You can go on our Veteran Alliance Clearwater Facebook page. You can go on either one of those. You can see where the event's at. You can reach out to us. We'll get back to you right away. And we are kind of in fundraising season, because we do have some events coming up where we're going to be feeding veteran families over the next couple of months over the holidays. There's a lot of food insecure veteran families, meaning they don't have fresh access to buy produce and food that they need to do. And that's a big, as we know, what we put in our bodies, makes us healthy. So
that's big time.
It's big time. So it's something we're going to be working on over the next 2 months.
Good stuff, Bo. Thanks for all you're doing out there. Captain Will, where can people find you? What's the best place?
They can go to willsmithaviation.com, or if you want to know more about the movie Investment Opportunities, go to captainwillsmith.com. And we walk you through, got a page on there, walk you through the movie process, what we're doing. I know Dave's filming in Pinellas County right now, and so it's a lot of good opportunities coming around the first of the year. And if you want to be an active, involvement in your community, and you want to be a part of what we're doing here in the movie industry, look me up at CaptainWillSmith.com. Or if you just are tired of the commercial jargon and getting the runaround and lost luggage and missed flights and canceled flights, go to willsmithaviation.com. We'll hook you up with a great charter company here, or get you on a fractional if you want to buy into a fractional, or if you just say, hey, I just want a plane. And we can lead you in the right direction that way too.
Yeah, $1 million appreciation on the jet wasn't a bad deal.
Exactly, that guy. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's tapping me on my back now. He paid 3.6, now it's worth 4.6 million. So he's like, yeah, good job, Will. Thanks.
That's awesome. All right, well, we got to end it there. Thanks for coming in, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And coming up, we got Attorney Millie Athanason here. We're going to take a quick break. Attorney Millie Athanason in studio, law offices of Millicent Athanason as well. AthanasonLaw.com coming up. Plus our feel good story of the day coming right at you. Pinellas, table tennis player takes medal in Tokyo Paralympics. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, Brandon Rhymes here. We are looking for real estate investors. We've got a new relationship bringing us a tremendous amount of off-market real estate investment opportunities. So text the word investor to our hotline, 813-750-0550. Off-market real estate investment opportunities. Text investor to 813-750-0550. Brandon Rhymes here, Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, looking for real estate investors. Send us a text. Hey, Brandon Rhymes here for Cleaning Commandos here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Cleaning Commandos are hiring, and they're offering competitive wages, flexible hours, relaxed atmosphere, and a sign-on bonus. Reach out if you'd like a career with the Cleaning Commandos here in Tampa Bay. Info at cleaningcommandosllc.com or call 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550. Cleaning Commandos, Consumer Quarterback Show.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in any marketplace. We'd love to help you win. We also love our feel-good stories. Every day we tell you something positive here on the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Tell me something good.
All right, so this is about our pinellas table tennis player that takes a medal in the Tokyo Paralympics. Pretty cool story. Right out of Bel Air, Florida, Jason Van Ember goes into a certain mode when he plays table tennis. Every motion is precise. He's locked in. He's focused in, and that's why he's one of the best in the world. Last month, Jensen won a bronze medal in the Tokyo Paralympics, and he's quoted as saying, "To win a medal was even more amazing. It's like icing on the cake for all of it." And his older brother Jake, who's a former Oklahoma Sooner standout and now tennis pro, was his inspiration. Jensen was paralyzed from a spinal cord injury at birth, and he fell in love with tennis while watching his brother Jake compete. And then he discovered table tennis and kind of took it from there, and he ended up winning third in the Tokyo Paralympics. So there's a pretty cool story. The brothers have a great bond from getting to watch each other play tennis. So there's our feel-good story of the day, and let's welcome in attorney Millie Athanason. Welcome in.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming in, and we appreciate you bringing these consumer advocate tips for our listeners. So it's interesting. It works out great. You want to talk a little bit more about the auto insurance industry because there's some changes that people have seen, and there's that 14-day rule if you get in an auto accident. Yes. Where do you want to start?
Well, let's talk about that. I wanted to talk about, this is a good time to kind of review your coverages on your policy.
Yep.
See what you've got. You've got all these northerners coming in right now. Even though the prices of gas have gone way through the roof, people are still coming to Florida.
Yeah, right.
So you want to make sure that your policy is up to date and in good shape so that if somebody hits you, you're covered.
Yes.
So to talk about the basic coverages, what Florida requires. Florida requires only 2 coverages currently, and that's personal injury protection and property damage. Property damage is when you cause damage to someone else's property.
Okay.
So in other words, if somebody hits or vandalizes your vehicle, that's not covered by property damage coverage, okay? In Florida, property damage coverage is the minimum requirement is $10,000. So if you cause damage to another person's car, you only have to have $10,000 worth of coverage, which isn't much because you can cause a lot more damage, as you know, with any type of an accident than $10,000. But that's what the state requires. The other kind of coverage that the state requires is personal injury protection, or what we call PIP coverage.
Yep.
And that's $10,000. And that's where the 14-day rule comes in. With PIP coverage, it covers 80% of your medical bills up to $10,000 and 60% of your lost wages. Again, up to that global limit of $10,000. Now, in order to achieve or retrieve, rather, the full $10,000 of PIP benefits, you must have what's called an EMC exam, or an emergency medical condition exam, within 14 days from the date of the accident. And that is to have a doctor certify that you have a condition that was caused by the accident that's considered an emergency medical condition. So if you don't have that exam within the first 14 days after the accident, you're limited to only $2,500 in your PIP benefits. And that's a shame, because you're paying for $10,000.
Okay,
so you might as well get your exam within the 14 days, and this way you've preserved that right. You know how a lot of people are, they'll get into an accident and they'll say, I don't think I'm that hurt. It's not that bad. I'll just kind of wait and see.
Yep.
Well, unfortunately, waiting and seeing can cost you $7,500.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you at least go, get checked out, make sure that you've got that EMC done. And this way, what happens is, a lot of times, a couple of weeks after the accident, that's when the pain's going to stop, start settling in. After all the blood flow has adjusted and gone back to normal, then you're going to start feeling those aches and pains. So if you went to that exam within the first 14 days, well, now you're good.
Can you get an exam by a chiropractic doctor, or does it have to be a medical doctor?
It needs to be a medical doctor, or it can be a nurse practitioner as well. But a chiropractic examiner is not going to work. That, unfortunately, was done by the legislature. I want to say it was in 2007.
Yep.
And at that point, they determined that, no, they didn't want a chiropractor to do it, because they were trying to cut out on the chiropractic community eating up your PIP benefits.
Okay.
And so they figured that at least if you're being checked out by another physician, that somehow that would safeguard the public. That was the insurance industry's way of handling that, or at least the compromise that was reached legislatively at that point in time.
Yeah. I know when I had mine, I went to a chiropractor, and he said, hey, you got to go get checked. And then I went to one of those emergency walk-in clinics. So that's where I was able to get, at that point, that would be my EMC, right?
Correct. You went to the walk-in clinic. So you were seen either by a nurse practitioner or by a physician at that point. So that would qualify. So those are your basic minimum coverages that are required in Florida in order for you to drive on the roads. But now, a lot of people, there's a lot of huge confusion in my mind as to what this full coverage business is.
Yeah.
People say, I got full coverage. Well, what exactly does that mean? Well, when you're the auto broker, and you're selling a car, what you're concerned about by full coverage is that they have what's called comprehensive collision coverage. Mm-hmm. Now, comprehensive collision, we use that term together, but they're actually two separate coverages. So comprehensive coverage means that it's non-collision related. So in other words, vandalism, tropical storm, whoever breezes through and the tree branches fall on your car and damage it, or otherwise flying objects, that's comprehensive coverage.
Okay.
Collision coverage, on the other hand, is it pays for repairs or for the replacement of your vehicle if it is damaged or destroyed in an accident, regardless of whose fault it is. So remember, property damage coverage, how that differs, is when you cause damage to someone else's vehicle.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen if somebody causes damage to your vehicle.
Or even if you hit their storefront or something like that too, right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
So that's where collision damage comes in, when you're protecting your own vehicle.
Yeah.
And that's why the auto brokers or auto finance companies are very concerned that you have comp collision.
Yeah.
Okay? So in their mind, that's full coverage. However, in my mind, or in the legal community, what full coverage means is that you not only have the comprehensive collision coverage, but you also have what's called uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage.
The big one.
That is huge in Florida because, as I told you, the only minimal requirements are PIP and property damage.
Yeah.
So if you got hit by somebody and they caused damage to your person and they only have that basic coverage, you're not going to recover for your injury unless you have uninsured/underinsured motorist coverage.
Yeah.
So
a lot of these people are broke. You can't sue them. It's not like you can go after them, right?
No, exactly. I mean, we run background checks and assets checks on people that are not insured. But I'm going to tell you about 99.8% of the time, the assets checks come up empty.
Yeah.
Because remember, if they own a home, that's protected.
Yep.
You can't take their
Primary
home.
residence.
Correct.
Yep.
So, if they have rental property, that's different. But if they have rental property, they're likely going to have uninsured motorist coverage or an umbrella policy to cover them. So you would be covered in that situation.
Right.
So that's a huge thing. So I really advocate getting uninsured or underinsured motorists because that's going to cover you for your injuries in the event that someone else hits you. The other big coverage.
Let me just remind everyone, if you just joined us, by the way, we're talking with attorney Millie Athanason right here in Tampa Bay. She's one of our expert contributors here on a lot of different areas. She's a lawyer in the area and covers different areas. Today, we're focusing in a little bit more on the auto insurance side and some of this court cases, personal injury type law that she's seen and dealt with here on the program. AthanasonLaw.com, law offices of Millicent Athanason on the program.
Yes, so I was going to tell you that the other big coverage is umbrella. And a lot of times, even lawyers forget to look at this when they're evaluating an auto accident case to see if there's adequate coverage out there. They forget to look at umbrella. And umbrella coverage provides extra or extended coverage to you. And what it does is it goes beyond the existing limits of your policy. And for example, it could be on your homeowner's policy. It can be on a boat policy. Usually it's associated with a different policy that you buy, and you buy that as an extra source of coverage. And it covers you for damage to property. It covers you for damage to your person. It also covers you against different lawsuits. For example, if somebody sues you like for libel or slander or something like that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. See, most people don't even know that.
Yeah.
And, because people will come in and, do you handle slander cases? Well, yeah, we can handle it if there's, umbrella coverage that covers it. But if there's not coverage and there's no assets check, well, it comes up where there's no assets, we can't do anything. Umbrella coverage will not cover you for any criminal-related activity. So if somebody hurts you as a result of a crime, that may not be covered under your umbrella policy.
Oh, wow.
But it will cover you for any type of damage by accident or negligent acts, okay?
Yeah.
So that's a really great bonus that a lot of people have. A lot of people have it. They don't even realize they have it.
Well, that's a good insurance agent probably suggesting that they carry it.
Absolutely. For example, a lot of times it'll cover like your vacant lots. Like if you own vacant property and you have an umbrella policy, it'll extend to any injuries that are caused on that property. So like if you leave the shrubs overgrow and somebody gets hurt, I'm just kind of making this up.
Waterfront, maybe they fall in or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can cover you if you have that additional coverage. So I think it's something that it's really worth looking into. And I got to tell you, it's nominal in cost.
Yeah.
When you add up all the prices of the other coverages, it's very nominal in cost to add that on to your existing policies.
Right.
So I really, really do recommend that. And again, it's something you should discuss with your agent. It's just
and the peace of mind also is big. Just to know
huge.
You have those policies, and there's a lot of things to consider, especially if you entertain people at your home. Sometimes you think about that. What if they step off the boat dock and miss the boat and they fall and then they hurt and they sprain tear an ankle, tear a knee out. There's all those things to consider.
There really is. And nowadays people will say, oh, I'm fine, don't worry. And then the next day, and, all of a sudden you're getting a letter from a lawyer's office.
Yep.
You're being sued.
There was a crazy one that I heard about. One of the kids that was in a school to I'm going to just bring it out a little bit so it doesn't get narrowed down. But so somebody I knew in Pinellas County threw a party for the kid. Had one of those big blow up slides where the kids are going up these big slides. I don't know if it's a windy day, etc. Kid falls. Lo and behold, sues the homeowner, who happened to be an attorney also, I believe. And I forgot exactly how that played out, but I know they got a good chunk of money.
Yeah.
Or I heard through the grapevine that they got some money.
Yes. And I mean, there's a couple of they could be looking at the owner of the company that furnished the rentals, okay, that they may have liability coverage. They can be looking at homeowners. They can be looking at umbrella coverage.
Yeah.
So you have a variety of sources that you can process claims through through something like that. So again, that's our job. When you come to my office to evaluate a case, I'm going to try to find out, number one, what are the sources of coverage?
Yeah.
And are you eligible to make a claim under those sources of coverage? So if you don't ask the question, obviously you're not going to have the answer. And a lot of times, believe it or not, people will have the coverage. They don't even know they have it.
Yep.
So you've got to request a copy of their policy and get it and find out if they have the coverage.
That's right.
So the other kind of coverages that I wanted to mention real quick are medical payments coverage and extended PIP coverage. So I told you that your PIP coverage is up to $10,000 and it pays your medical bills at 80%. So the question becomes, well, what happens to the other 20% of the medical bills? Well, technically you're on the hook for those. Yeah, that's an out-of-pocket expense. So if you have what's called medical payments coverage, it picks up that other 20% that PIP doesn't pay. Mm-hmm. All right, up to its limits. And usually it's sold in increments of like $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, and so forth and so on. Now, the downswing with MedPay, we call it MedPay for short. The downswing with MedPay is that it comes with a right of subrogation. So if I do a claim and I recover from a third party, I have to repay that MedPay coverage that was extended. But then there's something called extended PIP coverage.
Okay.
And we'll talk a little bit. I know we're coming up to a break.
Yeah,
so.
we got it. What's the best number? What is that? 800 Ask Millie.
Yeah, 1-833 Ask Millie.
833 Ask Millie.
Yes.
833 Ask Millie and AthanasonLaw.com.
Correct.
AthanasonLaw.com. Millie Athanason, always a pleasure. And hey, another great show. I want to thank our expert contributors, all the folks that are putting the show on, listening to the program, and supporting the show. Reach out, consumerqb.com. Thank you.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.